Hi, friends. I am Melinda, and this is Unhinged Founder. Thank you guys for tuning in today. This is a conversation that I've been sitting on since April, and honestly, I feel a lot of guilt around it because as a publicist, I would be so pissed if my clients recorded a podcast interview in April and it did not air until August, especially when it's something as pressing as this interview. But here we are. Life happens, life gets in the way, and honestly, paid clients come first. And as you guys know, my boyfriend Jeremy is a producer. His clients come first. My clients come first. We're getting to it. But today I have a wonderful conversation for y'all with my new friend, Amanda Wilson. So Amanda is the author of Mixtapes and Mixed Emotions. She's a North Carolina native. She's an elder millennial like me. And she went viral for something that's like very near and dear to my heart. And honestly, I felt very, very seen, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but we'll get into it in the conversation. But this is so timely because Amanda is about to leave to go to grad school in Scotland. So we want to support her as much as possible. She's going to be talking about her book. We will have the book in the show notes so you can purchase it. And also, the audiobook is now live on Audible. So please download that. Please support Amanda. We love indie authors. We love female founders. And we just love supporting other badass women who are doing really cool and brave things. So we are going to get into the conversation now. Here's Amanda. Okay, I have Amanda here. Amanda, go ahead and introduce yourself, girl.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wilson. I'm from North Carolina. I am an author, content creator, and I recently went viral with the news that I'm going to be moving to Glasgow, Scotland to get my master's in creative writing.
Okay, Amanda, so I, like everybody else, saw you go viral, and I was telling you when we hopped on, you went viral for telling your family at your birthday, correct? Your birthday lunch that you were moving to Scotland, and the internet had something to say about the reaction that your family gave, and I immediately clocked it. I sent it to my boyfriend, I sent it to my friends, and I was like, this family has to be from North Carolina, and also this is exactly what my family would do to me. You're dropping the biggest news of your life, and it's crickets. It's like it's your aunt, right? That doesn't even look up from eating, like
Correct.
can't be bothered. Exactly what would happen to me. The joke in my family is that I could run for president and I could win, and I could like tell my whole family, "Oh my God, I won. I'm going to be the president." And they'd say, "Okay." And then my brother could literally say, "I've been constipated for 4 days and I finally took a poop." And they would be like, "Oh my God, we're so proud of you." Like that's literally that's literally the dynamic. And I see myself in you. So I immediately reached out and was like, "Girl, come on the podcast. Let's talk about it. Let's trauma dump with each other. And also, I want to help you in any way I can." So you are a writer. So tell us like the journey to becoming a writer and self-publishing your book.
Okay. So I started writing Mixtapes and Mixed Emotions back in 2022. I had originally started writing a different book and got stuck. And so I had this secondary idea. And then once I went with it, it just was so easy for me to write it all. And so most of the writing took place in 2023. It was a really difficult time in my life personally. I was battling depression. My marriage was on the brink of ending. I had a lot of deaths that happened that year, just lots of things going wrong for me. And the one thing that was like helping me like wake up and get out of bed was like escaping to write this book and TikToks of the Eras tour. And like that was it. That was the only thing that would get me out of bed was knowing that there was a new Eras tour. um but yeah, I self-wrote the book and self-published it. At first it was really just I wanted a proof of concept that I had the ability to do this. I've always been one that loves to tell stories, but I also know I'm very long-winded. And so I was just like, is this something I can even do? And once I published it, I just really loved the whole process. I started getting more and more ideas of other stories that I wanted to tell. And as I started doing that, it really just turned into I want to do this full time. I want to be the best I can. And so that's why I decided I wanted to go on and get my master's and just really hone my skills. And I'm somebody that just does not have access to any kind of industry experts to kind of get my foot in the door. I queried for a little bit
So
and I got
explain what query is because a lot of people don't know what that is.
okay. So querying is basically just sending out like your resume to agents or publishers to try and see if they will pick up your book and give you a book deal and help you with the traditional publishing deals. And I got a lot of this is interesting, but it's just not quite right for us kind of deals, which I honestly took as amazing feedback. I was like, okay, good. There's something there.
And
Um,
and when you're in that, any response is good. You're just like, okay, people actually like people are acknowledging this. They're checking it out. Like this is a thing. I mean, that's
yeah,
way better than just crickets, you know?
yeah, absolutely. And so, as my so leading up to where we are now, and with getting my master's and moving out of the country, I my divorce was finalized about a month and a half ago. And last year, as I was kind of preparing, what do I want this new chapter of my life to look like? How do I want to start over at 40? All of this, I was like, let me get my master's in another country. Let me get out of here. Let me kind of clear my head. And what's so cool about being accepted was that part of my application process was having to submit, obviously, a sample of my work. So I submitted the first chapter of my book, and that's what helped get me accepted. And so that also just really solidified in my mind, okay, I really do have the basic skills to be a writer, to tell a story. There is something there. And now I've got like industry experts agreeing with me, and I'm just I'm so excited for everything that's coming ahead.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's so funny because when you were saying the thing about, turning 40 and you're like, screw it, I'm just gonna go to grad school in another country. Every time I've traveled somewhere, especially internationally, I'm like, could I go to college here? Like, I should study abroad here. I'm about to be 39 years old. I'm like, and I don't know why I think that because I'm like, I've already been to college. Like, I can't study abroad now. But like, you actually figured out a way to make it happen, which is awesome.
Yeah, I actually did study abroad in undergrad. I did a semester in Australia. So some of
That's
my
so
family
cool.
was like, yeah, we're not really that surprised. She did it once before. Of course, she'll do it again. So, like, in that respect, it was kind of like, okay, yeah. But I mean, it was 20 years ago at the same
Yeah, you're
time.
an
So,
adult now.
yeah. Honestly, I'm more impressed that I was able to get on a plane first time ever going anywhere out of the country by myself at 20 and living on my own for 4 months in another country. I'm more impressed at myself now than I was back then because I was like, "You were a baby doing
Yeah.
this."
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I get it. I so get it. Um, and where did you go to undergrad? Like what was your major?
I went to UNC Greensboro and majored in interior architecture.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
very different than your master's.
just a little bit. Yeah, I hit that perfect millennial year of graduating college in the recession.
Yep.
And so the biggest firm in Charlotte cut like 40, 60% of their staff. I can't remember, but they cut a huge chunk of their staff. And so I was a brand new undergrad with basically no experience competing with people that had 5, 10 years of experience already. And so I never really got a chance to pursue my degree in a
Yeah.
professional sense. But I always knew I was creative. I always knew that being an artistic person was what made me the happiest. And so writing this book and then the past few years of everything developing, it's felt more like aligned with what I should be doing, much more than any corporate or retail job that I've ping ponged between for the past like 15 years.
Yeah. And I graduated college in 2009, so I'm right there with you. And for me, I went from Campbell, which is this tiny, tiny private Baptist university in like the middle of nowhere, to Los Angeles, and I was competing against people who went to USC and UCLA to get jobs in entertainment, or people that had worked at big studios or whatever and gotten laid off and they just tried to find an entry level job. So we did not graduate in the best time. It's almost like the kids that graduated during COVID. It's literally same thing. History repeats, just different, you know, circumstances, I guess. But it was not fun. It was not fun. It took me a year and a half to get a full-time job in LA, and I just kept doing it, like free internships and working part-time places, and it was not fun. Millennials, we deserve a lot more credit than we get.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like, yeah, it was one of my biggest fears when I was in college to get a degree and never use it, and then it happened. And I guess part of it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, and part of it was just bad luck and timing and just the way that the way that things happen. But it's also been one of those things where finding millennials online that are also having these same experiences has helped me feel so much less alone, and knowing that, okay, no, it was the system-wide problem, it wasn't
Mhm.
me. And that really has helped me kind of come to terms with not being able to have used my degree the way I wanted to.
Yeah, and we were sold a bill of goods that's like, you go to college, you graduate, you're gonna get a job. When you get a job, you're gonna find who you're gonna marry, and then you're gonna be able to buy a house. And that shit was not real. That was not
Yeah.
real. I still don't own a house. You probably still don't own a house. No, we can't buy a house because all the old people got them for $3 and 2 quarters and a peanut, and they're still sitting on those houses.
Yeah, I fully expected to be like the female Ted Mosby. I
Oh, yeah.
fully was like, I'm gonna be in a cute little apartment in downtown Charlotte, working for a design firm and have my friends, and like none, none of that happened.
None of it. None of it. Okay, so you started writing your book. So tell us the synopsis of the book. I think I know a little bit about it, and I think that they were scene kids, right? Like I'm a former Warped Tour kid. I'm a MySpace kid, scene kid, and so I feel like I need to read the book. So tell me all about it.
Yeah, so it's called Mixtapes and Mixed Emotions,
Cute.
the book. Yeah, it's about a girl named Hannah who has been homeschooled and always been in this really conservative religious bubble. She's going to a public university. It's the first time she has ever been out from underneath her parents' thumb. And when she when she moves to college, her roommate is a witch. The girl across the hall is Jewish, and she is just like thrown to the wolves, and they take her under their wings and help her learn everything from pop culture to sex ed to just basic things that everyone assumes everyone knows, but she didn't because of how conservative and how controlling her parents are. And then she goes back home to her home church. And for the past year or so, a boy named Ryan has been on the prayer request list. And every time she is asked why he is there, like what does she need to help pray for him, people just give her really vague statements. And as she gets to know him and she starts to fall for him, she learns why the church has kind of pushed him into exile. And so it's a story about religious deconstruction. And yeah, it's set in the mid 2000s. So, he's an emo boy, she's the good Christian girl. And that's kind of where the story unfolds.
I love it. And you have me at deconstruction because that's another thing that all of us little millennials are having to deal with. We grew up in satanic panic and then like grew up and went to college and we're like, oh my God, everything we were taught is not correct. Like, even just hearing that, I'm like, oh my God, my wheels are turning because I always say this and it sounds bad and I don't know a nice way of saying it. But I, when I moved to LA, I didn't know people were like practicing Jewish. I didn't know that it was a thing. And like, everybody I worked with was Jewish and all this stuff, but like in my hometown, I didn't know anybody that was Jewish. I knew people existed that were Jewish, but I was raised in a Pentecostal church. I went to a Baptist university. Like, we had a tiny Mormon church and like one Catholic church, but other than that, I didn't know that people actually were Jewish. So very similar story for me, I think, as in the book. And but I was an emo kid, and I did have to deconstruct a lot.
Yeah, the my Jewish character, her name's Leah in the book, and she's inspired by my real life college roommate Liliana. And I remember like within the first day or so of meeting her, um, we were talking about her being a Jew, and she was like, "I'm your first Jew, aren't I?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm a Jew in the South. I'm used to it. I'm used to being everyone's first Jew. It's
Yeah,
fine."
exactly,
And,
exactly.
like, it was just so funny, like, how nonchalant she was about it, and it was so great learning about her faith and her culture, and, like, we did a Seder one year, and it was just fun, like, I hung out with the Hillel group that she was in, and just kinda getting to know people. Yeah, college is where you really start to break down and just learn so much. The more open you are, the more you learn.
Yeah. I I mean, even going to, like, a private Baptist university, I learned so much, and I always say, like, that's where I became liberal. My dad's always like, "Oh, you moved to California and you became liberal." I'm like, "No, it's when I go to this college and I'm having to take higher level religion classes and I realize all this stuff I was taught was not correct because I was taught it by some like literal backwoods preacher that didn't even have a divinity degree." And it's like, "Oh,
Yep.
that's who we're holding to the highest esteem here. COVID deniers, cool. Not my not my thing." But yeah, like I need to read your book. I know I need to because I know I'm going to see myself in it. And like literally freshman year in college, what did I start doing? Dating guys in scene kid bands, dating MySpace boys, like became an emo girl, cut my long hair into a MySpace mullet and, dyed it pink and all these things. So I'm sure I'm going to see myself in your book. Um, so you self-publish. So tell people about that whole journey of self-publishing, which a lot of people are doing now. I mean, it's way more accessible, I think, than it used to be.
Yeah. So like I said, I had queried my book for a few months, didn't really get any bites, and I really just had this personal deadline of wanting to get it done. Um and so I just decided to go through Amazon through KDP and and self-publish it that way. Um with with my book, like I said, I have no one personally or professionally that I could access to work with me on this book. I had no money to hire an editor. Those, easily can take $2,000 to $3,000. And I've never had the money. I've always been struggling to just stay afloat, let alone invest in my writing. So I designed the cover myself. Somebody in my comments was like, that looks like it was made in Canva. And I was like,
It
probably because
was.
it was the only free software I had available. Like, you gotta use the resources that you have, and
No,
I
I
think
think
that.
it's okay. My professional opinion, I think it's a great cover considering what the time frame and the era that it's supposed to be in. I think it's great.
Yeah, and right now, especially with like, I don't really consider it a romance book, but there's romance in it,
Yeah.
and so right now, so many people like, so many of the covers are those cartoon covers, which I don't mind. I know it's very decisive, but yeah, the iconography, I literally was pulling up old pictures of Blink 182 and trying to come up with, you know, the the checkers, the CD, the pentagram. Like, it just felt like the Vans, like it just felt like what you would see the posters to look like from back then. And I've had a lot of people tell me, they're like, I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but the cover looks awesome.
Yeah. So you developed it in Canva, like you made the cover in Canva, and then you just went through Amazon to self-publish. And then like did it once it got approved, were you just like, "Okay, guys, we got a book. Who wants to buy it?"
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of my family members did buy my book. I've made in other videos that um most of them have not read it. Um a lot of my family members were like, buying it is enough of a support. Um, they have I think I'm really the only real artist in the family, so I don't think they understand that, like, purchasing art and experiencing art are 2 different things and are 2 different ways of support. But that being said, one of my best friends, Jordan, we've literally known each other since middle school, and he emailed me the weekend that the book came out. He bought it the day it came out, read it that first weekend, and he was already texting me like, "Hey, I can't believe you still remember this specific sermon from 20 years ago. I remember that sermon too." And I'm like, I I I didn't know you remember. I don't even remember you being there." And and so it was just so funny having him to talk to about it because he lived that experience with me. And like last year we were hanging out at a bookstore, and I told him, I was like, one day my book's gonna be in a bookstore. It's gonna be in a physical store. And he just looked at me and he was just like, "Yep, it sure is." Like, no questions asked, just like, "Yeah, of course it will." Like, why else? Like, that's a crazy thing to assume would not be happening. And so having somebody like that in your corner, just so chill, is really nice to have because they're just like, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah, and you need those people when you're trying to manifest this dream life. You know, you need people to gas you up, even if it's like the most insane thing in the world. It's like, of course you're going to own a yacht. Like, yeah, duh. Like, if anybody's going to do it, it's you. You know, you need those people, um, especially if you don't have your family supporting you. I mean, does my family love me? Absolutely. But my dad didn't even know the name of my company. And the name of my company is literally my birth name with PR on the end. Like, it's literally my name. And my dad didn't even know it and asked me what it was. He didn't know that I had a Grammy. I just got my first office in 8 years, in January. And I finally got my logo and my name on the door on last Friday, and I sent it to my family. And my mom goes, "Okay, that's all." And I'm like, you know what? It's okay, because you know your family's going to be like that, so you have to have your friends that are there for you, that are going to be so excited for you. And I posted on LinkedIn. I got like 200 comments. They're like, "This is amazing. We're so proud of you." And I'm like, that's what I need. I need the
Yeah.
support from elsewhere. And any therapist would tell you that if you're not getting it from your family, get it from your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I knew that my book had an audience. I knew people would relate to it, and I've just known for the past 2 years that like once that first initial group takes the leap with me and buys a book that has like no reviews and a no name author, but once they find it and read it, they're going to see themselves in it. And I've already gotten so many comments, and so many people have read it and put new reviews out there for me, and telling me that, like, I'm only a few chapters in, but I see so much of myself in these characters. And like, that is like the one of the biggest things as an author that just makes you feel all warm and gooey inside, to know that people are relating to your characters and that they do see themselves in this story. Because as much as I see online everyone talking about religious deconstruction, and especially millennials, I feel like we are a very unique category where, as a whole generation, we have all collectively decided this without. And I feel like for me, I left the church back in 2014. And I feel like once I got on TikTok and other social media in around 2020, I started to see a really big increase in people talking about this, and again helped me feel less alone. And now when I talk to my friends from childhood, I see that they're going through those same situations too, with their parents and religion. Um, sorry, hold on.
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We'll cut that out. It's okay. Okay.
Okay.
So you stop saying like you see that so many of your friends are going through this with their parents and religion.
Yeah, exactly. And so being able to publish a book that I felt the audience is there. People are talking about religious deconstruction. Millennials are notorious for their nostalgia and love talking about the 2000s and the 90s. But I wasn't seeing any books, any fiction with those themes in mind. And so I was like, religious deconstruction's not new, and a lot of us were finding those cracks in our faith when we were in high school and college. We might not have been, verbalizing it. We might have been not realizing it at the time. But then when you reflect back, you're like, actually, yeah, I had those questions and those thoughts back then. But it was only when I got in my late 20s or 30s that I finally decided to leave or, do some critical reading and analysis of what this religion is, how it got here, how we got to this point. And so for me, I just really wanted to write a book that kind of let people know they're not alone, that they could find themselves in those characters and, give you a little bit of that nostalgia mixed with the religious deconstruction.
I love it. Like, literally, I'm so much is popping up in my head, and I'm just, like, seeing flashbacks of me in college, like, you know, figuring out life, for the first time on your own, but then, you know, realizing, "Oh my god, all this stuff I was taught was wrong, and maybe I don't believe that." And a big thing for me was when I learned that there were books in the Bible that they had cut out. And I was like, "Wait, what? Somebody's holding
Mhm.
out on additional information?" And then realizing, like, "Oh, it's been translated so many times, like, who's to say what anything actually means anymore," and all this stuff. And so I think I've just kind of been floating along since 2005, like, okay, what do I believe? I don't know, but I think I'm one of the rare people that, deconstructed but has stayed in the church. I've just found churches that are more my speed and that I trust. And I mean, I still question things. And even yesterday was Easter, and I posted on my stories. I'm like, do you guys think that Jesus actually was in a coma? Because I think he was in a coma. Like, I don't think that he actually like like came off the cross and then like died and then came back to life. I think he was just in a coma. Like, what do you guys think? And everybody, millennials, a lot of people were like, he was probably just in a coma too, whatever. But I'll still go to church on Easter and I'll still be like, "Rest in peace, Jesus," or whatever. Zombie Jesus. Um, anyway, okay. So I'm going to hell for that, but it's fine. Zombie Jesus. And I posted a bunch of memes of Jesus like riding dinosaurs and then like Dave Grohl Jesus and all the things, but it's fine. See, this is why I'm the perfect audience for your book. Okay. So when you like pressed go and publish and everything on Amazon, um, I'm sure you posted it online and you're just like, "Hey, people, buy my book." What has like the last 2 years looked like? Like, did you do any book events? Did you do any book signings? Did you shop it around to independent bookstores to ask them to carry it? Like, what did that look like for you?
So the past 2 years prior to going viral, have just been me yelling to the nothingness void of the internet. I was going through my divorce, and so part of that was not feeling comfortable posting because we are still living together, but we are, trying to figure out how to separate everything out. So I wasn't really in a space where I felt comfortable to make a lot of content and really put myself out there. At the same time, uh, one of the things about books is you have to have an ISBN, and when you publish through KDP, through Amazon, they will give you one for free. But you're supposed to have one essentially for like your paperback version, your hardback version, your ebook, your audiobook, and all of those cost money. And like I said, I have been struggling for the past few years to just stay afloat, let alone not having the money to invest into getting my book into those physical stores. And that's something where now that I do have an audience and I do have people picking up my book, I am hoping over this spring and summer and into this fall that I can get it into physical stores, that I can put more money, invest invested in doing that, because there are other self-publishing avenues where you can get it into physical stores, but a lot of times those require you to also buy back any returns.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing stories of authors going into debt because people will buy the book, read it, and then return it to the bookstore because they don't understand that that's a library, not a
Yeah,
bookstore that
those
they're wanting.
exist.
Um, Crazy thoughts. And so I just haven't been able to make any financial risks in trying to do that. So I've never done a book event. I don't have my book in any physical stores right now. It's just been through Amazon. And like last year I sold one book and that was
Bless.
it.
So
Yeah. So
you've
for
just kind of been sitting on it like, okay, it's out there. Like, if the universe points it to somebody, great. Like, and when you got that one sale, you were probably like shitting yourself, like, oh my God, I got a sale.
well, it was somebody that I knew.
Oh, that doesn't count then.
Yeah. Yeah. So since going viral and since selling over 150 copies of my book, now to complete strangers, it's a very new and exciting world for me to be able to expand upon. And I've gotten opportunities. I'm working with somebody to record an audiobook version, which is something people were immediately wanting. And I'm like, I want that too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to
You're
gatekeep.
like,
It's
with
a
whose
money
money,
thing.
girl? Like, I know you want it, but you're trying to pay for it?
Yeah. And so I'm like I said, I'm really excited for what the future can hold and me being able to get it into physical stores. I've had a lot of people be like, I don't want to use Amazon. And I'm like, I get it. Jeff Bezos is a yucky person.
But that money's coming back to you.
Yeah. But um, you gotta do what you got, with the resources that you have. And so I haven't spent a penny on making this book. It's just been my time and effort and elbow grease to make the content, to make the book, and to get it out there.
And that's called bootstrapping, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. Like, I think it's so cool. And so you've sold 150 books like since going viral, right?
Right.
Well, we got to
Right.
get you more, obviously. We're going to work on it. I'm going to order it when we get off, and I'm going to order more copies because I have an event next week and I'm going to give them out to some of my female founders. But um like I'm I think it's really important that you're so open and honest about like what it actually looks like to self-publish. And like, look, you didn't have the extra money, but you made it happen. And no, you weren't immediately on the New York Times bestsellers list. And whatever. It's happening. It's a slow roll, and it's just going to keep continue to grow, and then you'll be able to write your second book, you know? So I love that. One thing I will tell you, so I did book PR for a very long time in LA, and clients would always want to be on the New York Times bestsellers list. And people, the average person doesn't realize like when someone's on the New York Times bestsellers list, it's because they've bought cases and cases and cases of their own fucking books, and they've sold it
Mhm.
to somebody themselves. Like they will buy all the inventory themselves out the gate, and then they'll sell it to the bookstores themselves, or they use those books to sell at book events or trade shows or whatever else. Like you can't trust that shit all the time. Like the metrics, I wouldn't trust them. But I don't know if people can cheat on Amazon, but I'm sure there is also a way to do that as well.
Yeah, I like obviously being a best-selling author is something every author wants to do. And I think I could be wrong, but I feel like I read somewhere that most authors don't even sell 100 copies of their
Yeah.
book. And so I'm already better
You've
than
surpassed it,
most.
girl. You've surpassed it. Well, I just keep thinking about Colleen Hoover and like, I mean, look at her now. She's everywhere, Colleen. And I met her, God, 12, 13 years ago in Los Angeles. And a friend of mine suggested I read one of her books. So I read it. And then she's like, hey, that author that I love is actually doing a book signing in LA by your house. You should go. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I popped over after work. And it was just chaotic. The bookstore wasn't handling it right. And so I was like, do y'all want me to help you with this line? Like, I'm a publicist. This is what I do. Like, let me just help you, like, organize this line. So I made everybody get in line or whatever. I ended up talking to Colleen for the next 3 years, every time she would have a book signing in LA, she'd call me and say, "Hey, can you come and help me with this?" Like she gave me she handed me like $100 bill one time and like um let me keep all the gifts people had given her, like all this stuff. But like she literally lived in a single wide trailer when she wrote her first book. And look at her now.
Mhm.
Like, she's got a freaking compound, she's got movies, she's got all kinds of stuff. She lived in a single wide trailer and wrote her book in her spare time just because it was fun while she was a freaking social worker, and put it on what pad or whatever the fuck it's called, and started selling books that way. The first person to buy her book was like her mom. Like
Mhm.
it can happen. Like that she should be like an expander for you, that like, look, it can happen, girl. And you've surpassed that 100 bookmark. You're at 150. We're going to get you to 200. Like, it's just going to keep happening if you just keep putting goodness out there in the world. Um, okay. That's my soapbox. Okay. So let's get to the viral stuff. So you post a video online. I saw it on TikTok and then I found you on Instagram, and it was you at your birthday party. So go into that. Like, set the scene, but then tell us like why do you even posted it?
Okay. So I had been just kind of manifesting for the past few months leading up to my birthday that I really just wanted a video to document my family's reaction to my news. And I wanted to be able to like live in the moment and tell everyone and try and make eye contact, but also have something that I could look back on. So my mom's behind the camera filming the video for me. She's the only one that knew what my news was. um my cousin had an inkling. She kind of had an idea that I would probably be moving soon and moving far away, but other than that, nobody in the family knew anything that was going on. And so the one of the things that people have been really hounding me on is the timing of when I made my announcement. So just to clear that up, I had one of my friends that I had known for a really long time. She was coming from over an hour away to meet us. And then I also had some family that had told me they needed to leave early because they had other things to go to. So my timing was essentially that same 90 seconds that you would have used when the food came and did a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had so many people be like, "Really? Like, their food's getting cold. I don't blame her for eating this, that, and the other." And I'm like, or telling me that I took too long. And I'm like, if you think 90 seconds is too long, first off, you're definitely not Southern because
Yeah,
their prayers
exactly. I'm
last
like,
a
has
lot longer
has
than
your
that.
papa ever prayed before a meal? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but I I knew I wanted to post it to my social media the next day, and prior to any of this going viral, I was lucky if I broke 300 views. I was not expecting anyone to see this at all. And something in my video just really clicked with a lot of people, and that has been heartbreaking, but also validating for me at the same time because I hate that so many other people are like, I'm the same way, just like you. Like, my family's not really supportive. They don't really understand, how big this is. Um, I saw somebody say that you need to, if you're somebody that's breaking your generational curses, you don't need to be looking for approval from those that are keeping the curse alive.
Amen. Oh my God, yes.
And so like I expected a little more fanfare, but at the same time I wasn't that surprised. I know a lot of people like the whole of the internet hates my aunt
Yeah.
because she's eating the whole time.
Does she know that everyone hates her?
No.
Yeah. And it's probably
No.
best to keep it that way, because she would probably blame everybody else. And she
And
would say like, "Well, I had to eat my food."
yeah, I didn't even notice when I was giving the speech that she was even doing that. Um so that shows you how much it really wasn't affecting me in the moment. But at the same time, it's created amazing family lore. Um, Only a few of us know exactly why my video went viral, but we have all just, because my aunt's not on social media, we've all collectively decided to not tell her. It is best for her
It's
and for the
easier
family.
not to.
Yeah. And, in a few years when I am publishing, my third, fourth book and I am established and people ask me how I, got my start, it's going to be a hilarious family lore to be like, well, let me tell you about my aunt and how she pissed off the internet.
Yep, literally. So, like, is she always like that? Like, or do you find, and again, I'm saying this because I get it and my family is the same way, and I saw it and I told you, I clocked it. I was like, they're from North Carolina. This is a Southern family. Like, she could not be bothered. Her food had just gotten there and she was going to eat it. She's going to eat it. She's going to listen. She's going to look up every few seconds. She's going to eat her food. And that's exactly what my family would do. But, like, is she generally supportive or just kind of like, you exist to her?
She's pretty much a very neutral person.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she's somebody that has always had a very generic routine, and she's been at the same job literally my whole life, same position, and so she just kind of has her routine, does her thing. She's not really somebody that's very uh lively or animated or anything like that. And like I said, I didn't even notice that she was eating the whole
Because it's
time.
just normal.
Right. Right.
So, like, you telling them, like, obviously I saw, and people will see in the video, like, you do, like, the rest of your family was fairly supportive, excited about it, probably just, like, confused a little bit, like, "Wait, what?" And, like, processing it. But have they been excited for you? Are they like, "Why do you feel like you have to go so far away?" Like, what does that look like?
It's been a little bit of both, I would say. One of my nieces is sad to see me leave because it's so far away.
Mhm.
And she's like, I feel like I just got you back in town and now you're moving on. And so having to explain that, like, some people in the family are just not meant to live in rural environments, that, I've been very vocal that my current living situation is just not where I feel the best for me, and that I needed to just get a fresh start. Like I said, I'm coming off of a divorce after 15 years together. I need to clear my mind and just go somewhere new. Um, but for the most part, everybody has been like really surprised but supportive. Of course, the whole, you're a woman traveling internationally by yourself. I'm worried about your, safety. And again, I'm like, do y'all remember I was 20 living in
Yeah.
Australia? Like, I'm so much more
Like,
smarter when it comes to the world
literally,
around me.
you're across the world. Now you're just across the ocean. Like, it's a
Yeah.
lot closer. It's the equivalent of flying to California. Like, it's no different.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, I think for the most part, my family was surprised, but are supportive. You know, I think a lot of them too are like, she's not coming back. She's gonna love it and stay. And I'm not committing myself one way or the other just yet. I'm like, let me get over there and get settled and see. I may hate it, I may love it. I don't know. Or I may choose a different country altogether. Who knows? But I think they see that this is something that makes me happy, that I'm excited about. And um like, even just coming off of my divorce, my niece has told me that I look so much happier, and like I'm coming back into myself after the depression and the ending of my marriage and everything that happened prior. And so I think they see that, like, okay, she's not crazy. This does make sense. She can see something that we don't see. And I think that is definitely that Southern family mindset of, you have that one person that wants to leave that small town, that wants to get out of the South, and nobody else can comprehend why. And you're sitting there going, why would I stay? Like, why would I want to be confined? This is a big, beautiful world. I want to experience it and meet so many people and learn so much from cultures and customs, everything like that. Um, and it's a very interesting dynamic to be on one side or the other and trying to see the other side and see how they operate or understand.
And at the end of the day, you don't owe them anything. It's if this is a part of your life's purpose and your life's path, then do it. Fuck it. They will get over it. Yes, everybody's gonna miss each other, whatever. We have FaceTime. They can get on a plane and come visit you. Like you could expand their horizons and make them comfortable with going to visit. You never know. And if they say anything, just be like, watch Outlander. Just watch Outlander. And then they'll be like, oh my God, I want to come visit. Which all I can think about, like, I am so obsessed with like the migration patterns to North Carolina and the settlement patterns. And like where I grew up, I was on the Cape Fear River, which, is the whole thing. All the Scotch Irish came to Wilmington and they went up the Cape Fear River and then they settled where I'm from and all that stuff. But I'm like, you're doing the reverse North Carolina migration. Like, you're going back to the homeland. Like, they all came here and you're like, okay, going to Scotland. I'm doing this.
Yeah, it really does kind of feel like I'm going back to see the ancestors because for me, growing up in the part of Charlotte that I lived in was again founded by Scottish Presbyterians, and I had friends that learned how to play bagpipes, and the local Presbyterian church had tartans of the original founders, and also my family is from the Appalachian Mountains and near Highlands, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
where they still have the Highland Games.
Exactly. And so like I've got all this Scottish ancestry, but I don't know the culture and I don't really know why, my ancestors left there to come here, but I'm the first one that's going back home,
I
so to
love it. I
speak.
think that's so cool. Like, you kind of inspired me. I mean, granted, I have a whole ass company and like a women's group and all this stuff, but I'm like, do I need to go to grad school in the UK? Like, do I need to do this? Maybe I'll just go for a summer or something. But
There you go.
I'm so excited for you. So, have you been over there before, or are you just like YOLO applied?
YOLO for
Oh
sure.
my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you all the recommendations. I got you. I've been I've and like you need to take like the train to London and like all that stuff. There's like a cool sleeper train. It's called the Culloden Express or something like that. I've been to Culloden and Braveheart and all that stuff, and it's super cool. I'll send you a whole list, but you're gonna love it. You're gonna feel like the fanciest lady, and you're just gonna like start drinking tea and being cozy and like whiskey and stuff. I'm so excited for you, and like I know I don't know you, but obviously I'm gonna make you be my friend now. Um, but I am so proud of you and just to how you've persevered, and like I see so much of myself in you and I get it. Like I understand like making those leaps even though you don't feel like you have support necessarily, or like you're not understood all the time, and the deconstruction of it all, and maybe feeling just a little out of place in your hometown. And I think so much of my success is because I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it scared. Like, I'm gonna move to LA where I don't know anybody and I don't have any money, but I trust myself to make it work. And like, fuck it, I'll move back. But I'm not moving back to my hometown. I'm moving to Raleigh, which even my family, I'm 45 minutes from them, and they're like, "Oh, we're not going into Raleigh. We're not." I'm like, Raleigh traffic is nothing compared to LA. Like, this is, I laugh at this traffic. So calm down. But no, I'm really, really proud of you. And we're gonna get some books sold for you, girl. Like, you're gonna move up them charts on Amazon. We're gonna make you some money so then you can record your book and you can have the ebook and you can have everything. So I'm so proud
Sounds
of you.
great to me.
So tell us everybody where to find you on the internet. Um, tell us where to find the book, everything.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on TikTok and on Instagram. My handle is I am dot Amanda. My book is called Mixtapes and Mixed Emotions, and it's available on Amazon.
Yay. Okay. And emo is in pink, and we love that. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank you, Amanda. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being my new friend. We're gonna make you famous. We're gonna make you famous. We got this. Okay.
sounds good.
Thanks so much, girl. How freaking sweet is Amanda, y'all? Like, don't you just want to hug her and be her best friend? I know I do. So please, again, go purchase her book, Mixtapes and Mixed Emotions. Go buy the audiobook if you want. Buy like 10 copies of this. Who cares? Like, buy it, give it to your grandma, put it in the free little library. I don't care. Buy it and please support Amanda so we can help fund her education in Scotland, her trip to Scotland, her life in Scotland. Like, I'm honestly so jealous that she gets to do this. I think it's such a fun adventure. And I feel like so many of us aren't that brave anymore. We kind of get complacent in our lives and we don't want to take those big risks and those big jumps. And honestly, like, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the time to go and do grad school. Oh, I love learning. So I'm such a nerd and I'm just so jealous of her. And I'm so excited to watch her journey. So we'll have all of her links in the show notes, all of her socials. Please go and support Amanda. She's just the sweetest, most kind, wonderful human. So thank you guys for listening. I promise we have more good stuff on the way. Like and subscribe to my podcast. It's Unhinged. Dun, dun, dun.